Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves, and we're going to be doing it with my I Am deck. This deck is full of positive, beautiful affirmations, lovely things that we can say in order to absolutely improve our lives, improve our well being, improve our own internal narrative. So, thank you guys so much for being here. Good morning. Man, the chat is active today. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Shauna. It is good to see you guys here today. Susan is wondering whatever word will be for the first day of the year. Oh, you're excited to find out? Well, I'm excited to do a special on the first of the year there, Miss Susan. So thank you so much for encouraging me to know that people really care about the stuff I have to say. Uh, Good morning, Amanda. Amanda, the question of the day is, what's something that you've learned recently? Amanda has learned that when she's put in an impossible situation, she will always find ways to see the beauty in it. What a beautiful, beautiful sentiment, Amanda. Let's see here. Let's see. Good morning, Dan. Let's see. Good morning, Lauren. Let's see. Lauren learned how to jumpstart a car without blowing herself up. Yay! I'm happy that you learned how to do that, Lauren. I'm not so happy that she had to jumpstart a car, but happy that you managed to do it without having any problems. Shauna is learning how to be more gentle with herself. That's such a beautiful thing, Shauna. I'm glad. You should be gentle with yourself. Be at least as gentle with yourself as you are with the people that you love. Let's see here. Yep, and I'm glad that you are coming back home soon, Dan. You know what? So the question of the day was inspired by something fairly mundane. You guys have all learned, really good stuff about yourselves recently. But the thing that I learned very recently is totally mundane. But I learned that that when you are playing checkers, that if you are presented with a jump, you have to take it. It's mandatory. It's in the rules, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because otherwise two smart people playing checkers will both all play defensively until somebody makes a blunder. And then once somebody makes a blunder, then there's an exchange of material and one person gets an advantage or an upper hand. Whereas if jumps are mandatory, then people have the ability to force their opponent to make a terrible move and set up their opponent to make a terrible move that is mandatory. So I learned that jumps are mandatory in checkers. I had no idea. I've been playing, well, I played checkers when I was a little kid, which is perhaps why jumps weren't mandatory back then, or maybe I just didn't remember that rule. But I started playing chess when I was probably about 6 years old, and it kind of dismissed checkers as being the kids' game. But boy, now that I understand that jumps are mandatory in checkers, the whole game takes on a much more depth. And it reminded me as I was doing that, or as I learned that rule, it really reminded me that I am 41 years old, but that doesn't mean that I know everything. And sometimes things which I um, excuse me, things which I think that I know, I don't actually know. And it was just a reminder to myself to question my base assumptions, especially about things that I think are really basic. So I always thought checkers was this children's game, and then when I actually read the rules and played a game in accordance with the rules, I realized that it had so much more nuance that I was missing out on because I didn't actually know how to play. And I thought that I knew how to play checkers, but it turns out that I've been playing it wrong my entire life. And so that's it's just a good reminder for me to remember that I should always challenge my base assumptions. And just because I think I know something does not mean that I actually know it. And it's important to always approach things with a beginner's attitude, a beginner's mind. So that was the question of the day. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. We're going to pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you guys if you are the affirmation on the card, and then we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we say this, we are building into ourselves. We are creating new lives for ourselves. We are creating new mental pathways for which or through which our thoughts can flow. So let's have some fun today. I'm going to be pulling another one off of my physical deck and saying that today I am constructive. I am constructive. My words and actions build others up. So I am constructive. My words and actions build others up. Are you constructive? You are constructive. Your words and actions build others up. Amanda there is already beating me to it. Good morning, Amanda. So I'm going to write it in the chat. I'm going to say that I am constructive, that my words and actions build others up. And they do. The fact is that I'm very particular about my words and actions, and always I'm interested in building up the people around me, because when I build up the people around me, I get to be surrounded by people who have been built up, and people who have been built up will always rise to my expectations of them, and that's just a beautiful thing. So I am constructive. My words and actions build others up. I read a very interesting perspective on, how do we build others up. And the author was talking about how people will rise to our expectations of them. So whatever it is that we expect to see out of people, that's something that they're going to deliver for us. And of course, it doesn't always happen that way. But people who are actually invested in us, invested in the relationship with us, will always rise to the potential that we see inside of them. I found this happens a lot in a business context. Whenever I was managing teams of people, I would always expect the best out of them, and typically they would deliver that for me. And instead of having to figure out how to micromanage folks, I always just kind of expected the best. I communicated what my expectations were, and then I just allowed people to rise to those expectations and assisted them as necessary when I saw that they were, when they were having issues rising to those expectations. And so I am constructive. My words and actions build others up. I chose this mosaic, this colorful mosaic for this card. And the reason I chose it was because oftentimes the building materials that we have when we are being constructive are not perfectly shaped. Indeed, nothing in this mosaic is square. There are points, there are jagged edges. And yet the words and the actions that we present to the world are the glue that holds it all together. It's the mortar that holds all these totally differently shaped pieces and turns them from being something that's just kind of like useless sitting in a bucket to something that is a beautiful work of art. It's our words and actions that can do that. We are and can be that mortar. We can be that glue that holds together the people around us and allows us to simply basically weave the folks around us into a tapestry of a beautiful life. And so we are constructive people. Our job is not to kill or murder or destroy. Our job is to build up. Our job is to make sure that the folks who are around us are living their best life in the same way that we are living ours. I don't know if it's my screen messing up, Lauren, or if it's yours, but my latency seems to be okay. So I hope that's an issue on your end and not affecting everybody. Just let me know, everybody, if something is going on with the broadcast. But anyways, we are constructive people. Our words and actions build others up. So today we are going to have many opportunities to affect the people around us. We're going to meet people that we know that we know every day. We're going to meet people that we're just going to meet in passing. Paul, it's my screen. Okay, thank you, Susan, for letting me know that something is going up with my screen. Let me see here. Yeah, wondering if you guys can still hear me. But anyways, as I troubleshoot this, just know that a pixelated Christmas skull talking. Well, the pixelated Christmas skull tells you to build other people up. Otherwise, you'll end up on Santa's naughty list, and then you'll be visited by the talking skull of Christmas. It's going to be just, it's going to be the stuff of children's nightmares. So anyway, we are constructive people, and as we go through today, let's just remember that we can have a profound effect on the folks who are around us. So let's love the people around us. Let's recognize that the folks around us are all going through battles just the same way that we are, and let's have some compassion on that. Donna can say, I can hear you. My whole production floor can too. Well, hello to Donna's production floor. Yes, indeed. Donna has found the Wake Up Call with Maui Paul, and it is an interactive broadcast. So join us 9 a.m. every morning. We say good stuff about ourselves. Free plug. Anyway, so, as we go through our day, let's make sure that we are saying that our actions, that our words are conducive to us having the kinds of relationships that we want to have with the people around us, that we are building other people up proactively, and that we're just simply being intentional about everything that we say, about everything that we do. I know that I've been guilty in the past of saying or doing things that I knew would be intentionally hurtful to the people who are around me, typically because I felt like I had some righteous rage or some right to behave that way. And as I got older, I realized that I did not have any right to behave that way, and that no matter how the folks around me treat me, that my mission, my goal is to really love them and edify them, and to help them, because hurt people. And so when people are hurting, that's oftentimes the time that they need somebody to reach out to them and love them the most. And so let's do that. I am blessed to be surrounded by so many constructive people in my life, people who build me up, people who build up the people, the folks around me that I love. I was so pleasantly surprised. Okay, so on Christmas Day, my girl Caitlin was just not feeling good at all, and she, so I went to a holiday party, and she couldn't go to that holiday party, and everybody asked, where is she? And I said, well, she can't come out because she's feeling just awful. She doesn't want to get you all sick. And then a bunch of people from that party came out and stood in the rain and did some Christmas caroling for her. And I thought to myself, I was like, what a beautiful group of people that I'm surrounded with, who will intentionally build somebody else up, who will intentionally know that somebody else is hurting, and then go and find them and stand in the rain and sing for them on Christmas Day. How cool that is. How cool to be surrounded by people like that. And this is just a small sampling of the people that I know. Everybody that I know would do something like that. And I am just so incredibly blessed to be surrounded by people like that. And so I do my best to also be a person like that. And I recognize that me being a person like that is what attracts other people like that into my life. Be the person that you want to see others be around you. And as we are that person, we will find that other people will rise to our expectations. So I am constructive. My words and actions build others up. I hope that y'all have had a wonderful wake-up call today. I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another one. And yeah, Susan, I wish that we could as well. I wish we could also have conversations about the word of the day that last longer than the video. I am still figuring out what the best way is to just organize the community that is kind of surrounds the wake up call. So I'm currently thinking about what the best way of doing that would be. So just know that it's on my radar there, Miss Susan. Anyway, I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will go through another one of these cards, and continue to say nice things about ourselves. Continue to modify our own subconscious. Continue to really change the way that we think, so that we can change the way that we live, so that we change the opportunities that are available to us, and so that ultimately we can completely change our lives. My friends, I love you and I care about you, and I'm very excited that you are here. And so yeah, thank you so much for being here. We'll return tomorrow. We'll meet again for another wake-up call. Until then, I love you, and aloha from paradise.